are those like institutions in the single family rental space leveraging automated valuation models to act at pace and at scale, or are there still too many imperfections of those models for that to be possible?
Well, there are imperfections in those models, just like there's imperfections with regular appraisers as well, and error. But I can tell you from personal experience that one of the largest buyers of single family beginning in 2008 or 9 used exclusively AVMs in their analysis of properties. They never used appraisers because it was too slow, too expensive, and they were no better statistically. They made just as much of an error. On unique property, there might be a difference, but on the kind of property that they were buying, the AVMs did very well. So they accumulated about $1 billion of real estate. They sold it to another institutional investor. It was quite successful. They developed so much confidence in the model that they would put in offers sight unseen. If the AVM came out at 20% or more above the price they could buy it at, it was just a done deal to them. And they were very successful. So I am quite certain that any enlightened institutional buyer is using AVMs because the speed, the cost, and they're agnostic. They don't try to hit the market. And that's what you want. You want an agnostic model.
Right. Absolutely. Do they, in order to trust the AVMs, do they limit themselves to more homogenous markets? Is that why we have concentrations of buying activity in middle income suburbs of Phoenix, where focusing primarily on properties built in the last 10 years, say, where there's quite a lot of homogeneity between the different houses?
No, it's not so much the accuracy. The AVMs are good in 99% of the markets out there. They really are. The reason for the concentrated buying is for the asset and management efficiencies that they get.
Right.
You set up your crew of handymen and vendors that will maintain your properties, and they're so valuable. You want to have a cluster of properties to do that efficiently. So that's really the reason for the concentration. You could successfully buy with AVMs anywhere in the country, but managing them would be another problem.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I remember when the single family rental sector was a new concept 15 years ago or so, and there was a lot of skepticism in the industry that the management costs could be maintained with.
Well, 20 and 30 years ago, it was really difficult because nothing was automated. Now compare owning a property 20 years ago where I had to send a locksmith out if a tenant had a problem. And now I have an app on my phone that lets me automatically let a tenant in, give them a key code where they can get in on their own or change it for them. Think about the cost savings and time and management. That same app, I can now let them control their HVAC, their television, their garage door, everything on this one app. They're happier about that. I'm happier about that. And we don't really need to send anybody out except for, significant problems. So technology has really enabled single family more than any other property type to be efficiently managed when it was very inefficient, 20 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Very good.